Hello and welcome to the first video on my new channel, My Watch Reviews. For those who don't know me, my name is Mike. I'm a hobbyist watchmaker and watch collector. I've spent the last 5 years growing my main channel, My Retro Watches. This is a channel that mainly focuses on watch restorations and watch tutorials from a hobbyist point of view. For this new channel, I want to bring you watch reviews of modern watches, but also many vintage watches from my own personal collection. Today, I'll be starting with this San Martin bronze big pilot watch, reference SN0095-Q-DB. What a mouthful. I will say that this watch has been provided by San Martin for free, but you will still be receiving my personal opinion on this watch. So let's kick off right from the start with the price. As of today, October 2022, you can pick up this bronze version for 217 UK pounds, which is around about 240 US dollars, including any tax in your country. That is a very good price for a bronze watch indeed. If you don't like bronze, well, this one has some steel versions, and perhaps I'll tell a little bit more about those later in the video. Starting off with the dimensions then, this is a very big watch. It's 45mm in diameter. There's absolutely no getting away from that, and for many this might be the deal breaker for sure. Did pilots really wear watches this big? I just don't know. I've got a 7-inch wrist and it kind of looks like I'm wearing a pocket watch, especially as it's got that massive onion crown. However, I've genuinely worn this watch all week. I've got used to the size, and as it's on a strap, it's actually not as heavy as it looks. It weighs in at 127 grams. So the rest of the dimensions then, lug to lug is 54mm. That is large, but as the lugs drop off on the watch case, it actually gives the illusion that the watch is a little bit smaller. The lug width is 23mm. That is one heck of an odd size in my opinion. I mean, living in the vintage world that I do, it's 16, 18s, maybe 20s. In some of the modern stuff I've got, it's 22. I've never seen 23, and I don't know whether that's going to restrict you for strap choices should you want to buy different straps for this particular watch. The watch thickness is 14.6mm, and at least a millimetre of that is because it's got a nice big flat piece of sapphire that's got a beveled edge. It's actually got some AR coating as well. Looks lovely, raised above the case like that, but of course it is adding to the overall thickness. This also comes with the biggest crown I think I've ever seen on a wristwatch. It is 11.9mm in diameter, and it actually sticks out from the case by 6mm. So that is an absolute whopper. It does screw down, and that's going to help with the water resistance because that is 100 meters on this particular watch. Not that I'd recommend swimming with it because it's got a leather strap, and generally leather straps in water don't really mix. That said, if you're looking to get a bronze watch and have that aged patina look and that green oxidization that bronze brings, then getting it wet is certainly going to help with that patina. And now onto that dial, and what a dial it really is. Despite the size, I absolutely love it, especially that brown burst colour, because it suits it really well. And if you look at it in macro, it's got a little bit of texture to it, so very nice feature indeed. The watch has got printed hour markers. They're in Arabic numerals, and they're 3-dimensional, so they're actually raised above that dial, and again they've been applied really well. The watch has got a standard railroad minute track that's surrounding the dial, and then you've of course got the applied hexagon San Martin logo in gold there at 12. But then if you look down at 6 o'clock, of course, we've got the biggest subdial I think I've ever seen. I really do like the orange numbers in the every 10 increments, and the fancy second hand to go with it is really cool. It's got a loomed tip, and then it leads you on to those massive cathedral hands. I think they go really well with the style of the watch, and they're all completely fully loomed. So let's go to the customary loom shot. So the loom on this watch is C3, which glows green. However, my camera is insistent that it glows blue. It burns brightly for around about 10 minutes, as you can see here in the time lapse. It fades very quickly, but it does stay legible for many hours thereafter, and the camera in dim light doesn't show it as well as it should do, so it does burn a little bit brighter than you think in this particular shot. The watch comes on this nice, soft and very flexible yet thick leather strap. The stitching gives it a lot of interest, and then it's also fitted with a nice solid bronze buckle and tang that's brushed on the top and it's polished on the sides, but it's going to tarnish very, very quickly indeed. You can also see that they've embossed San Martin on there too. I like the strap on this model, but it's been fitted with a longer strap. So my 7-inch wrist, this strap is on its last hole adjustment. To be fair to San Martin though, and you have to read the listing, it does say that it comes on this long strap, but if you wanted a shorter strap, then you have to ask for that at point of purchase. So just worth noting if you are interested in one of these. And finally, we'll turn the watch over to look at the caseback. And my main criticism with San Martin is the casebacks are completely boring. They are generic, they are void of any writing, no model number, no water resistance, no nothing. I think San Martin could do a lot better. What's cool about this one though, it's actually screwed down. You've got 6 screws, and what is under there is to be revealed next. So let's cut back to my workbench where I'm going to examine that movement a lot more closely. Okay, so here we are on my bench, and I want to show the movement and then want to put it on the Timegrapher and see how accurate it is. And I've just tried to remove this case back, and I found it really difficult. I was using just a real basic case back tool today, thinking that these were just the holes for that. Turns out they're actually screws. So I'm dying to crack it open. This has been powered by a Seagull ST3621, which is a hand winding movement. And Seagull are one of the biggest watch producers or watch movement producers in the world, and they do make some nice stuff. So I'm eagerly wanting to see what is inside. So it's good to see a screw case back. Not very often do I come across those. Here we go. Hopefully it just lifts off. Oh, look at that. That is actually a really nice looking movement. Let's try and get a little bit closer in. That is highly decorated. And wow, I'm actually speechless. The actual diameter of this, I've got the specs, is 37.2, which I did think was a large movement, and it's 4.5 millimeters thick. But I just thought there would still be a great big plastic spacer or something in here. This is very reminiscent of a pocket watch, and all the detail that is on there, all the machining, very nice. Now, if you are a tinkerer like me, then obviously you like to regulate a watch and like to try and get it running as good as it can. This is interesting. I have never seen a regulator arm or an adjuster arm this long before. That has got to be a good 25 millimeters to an inch, maybe a bit more. What I guess is a little bit alarming though is it's set to full speed, so it's got no more adjustment. So whoever's regulated this movement has gone as far as they can with the rate. So we'll have to stick it on the Timegrapher and see where that's going to take us. But my word, I'm really well, I'm speechless over the decoration for a watch that doesn't cost that much money at all, really. Shame in many respects it hasn't got a clear case back, because that would be lovely to look at and admire. So let's get it on the Timegrapher and see what it's going to show. So I'm unsure of the lift angle, so the generic 52 degrees will do. Let's get it going. And we're off to a good start straight away. I can tell you now that beat error is good. It's come straight up, 0.1. I would argue that it's probably not going to be 0.1. It probably correct itself to 0. Amplitude is healthy. There we go. It's just changed the beat error now to 0. Amplitude is healthy, and the rate, well, it's minus. So that's interesting. It's minus 8 seconds. Very, very good, I have to say. Very pleased with that. But there's no more adjustment, is there? If I wanted to make that any faster, I can't. And in many respects, that is a bit of a problem, because if you wanted to make that exactly accurate, you'd literally have to take the hairspring off and adjust it, which is quite a complex job. Me as a hobbyist watchmaker, I could probably just about do that, but it would be a bit of trial and error. However, 6 seconds a day on a £200 watch, that's sensational. Let's just change it and have it in a few positions. So of course we'll put it in crown down. And what we're looking for, as always, is keeping the line as straight as possible in the different positions. Realistically, you should leave this running for a few minutes in each position for it to fully adjust itself. But you can see there that in crown down position, it's even more accurate. This is to within a second a day. Astonishing, absolutely astonishing. So crown up, this is normally one that's a bit more stressful. You should see the beat error change a little bit. And we're going back down to a minus, which is what it was doing originally, wasn't it? A dial down. I find that pretty healthy all the same. It's a little bit of snow in the background. If I turn the gain down, that'll iron that out. Some of that is my talking. And let's just do dial up. And dial up is always, or should always prove to be the best, because the balance wheel is not really under any problems or any stress. And that's going to iron itself out a bit better than 9 seconds, I think. You can just tell by the graduation of the scale there. And I'm sure if I left that running for an hour or more, it would probably get even better than 6 seconds. This watch, this particular one at least, is set up really, really well. Impressive looking movement, I have to say. Just a shame that it's regulated to the maximum at fast speed. But there we go. That's the movement on the Timegrapher. Passes my test. Passes a lot more than other things that I've reviewed, certainly on my other channel, my retro watches. So there we go. Let's try it now and sum this watch up. So here we are in front of my reasonably tidy watchmaker's bench, and let's sum up this particular watch. Well, for a start, it is still on my wrist, which is a pretty good sign. I think for £217, it offers quite good value, to be honest. Bronze watches seem to be at a higher price range as a rule. They're not everybody's cup of tea, granted, but it looks good. I have to say, it looks good. The negatives, of course, is it's far too big for most people's wrists. Probably a bit too big for mine. I have got used to it, I have to say, but then if I wear a 36 tomorrow as a vintage watch, this will make this look enormous. You do get used to it, but if it had been a 40mm, which they do a steel version in 40mm, I may add, that would be a lot better and it would suit a lot more people. I think the movement is fantastic. I can't talk for the longevity of it, of course, but it looks so nice. It's decorated. Yeah, we could decorate everything. Doesn't mean to say it's any good, but it's running reasonably well. Well, it's running incredibly well, to be honest with you. It just really annoys me, knowing what I know about watches, to see the regulator on maximum fast speed. It's quite annoying because at that point in time in the factory, they shouldn't really let that out. They should move that back to the middle and adjust the hairspring. Again, in my opinion. Again, the other thing I suppose is the strap. You've got to be sure that you're going to order the right one to fit you. Like I say, this is on the lowest or the maximum tightness, if you like. There's no more hoops for me. So if you've got a less than a 7-inch wrist, this watch isn't going to fit you. But that said, if you've got less than a 7-inch wrist, you probably aren't going to buy a 45mm watch. So there we go. The dial, of course, still is fantastic. That brown burst is superb. I'd like to see that on more models. My criticism with San Martin still is with the case backs. I've done lots of reviews of San Martin on my other channel, and it's a common thing for me. The case backs, I like a good case back. I think they should write more information on there. It just gives them a bit more brand and, well, a bit more kudos, I suppose, and you as the consumer will actually know more specs about the watch, because this one doesn't tell you at all that it's 100 meters water resistance. You have to find that out on the listing on AliExpress, which is a little bit disappointing. So there we go. Really, that's the end of my first review for this channel. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing if you like this video. It's going to mean the world to me. I'll need as many subscribers as I can to grow this channel. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, of course. That's going to help the algorithm show it to more people. Leave your comments below. I always read every comment. I try to reply to as many as I can. I guess also, if you haven't seen my other channel and you're interested in watch repairs, then check that out. There's going to be a link below. It's called My Retro Watches. I've got a website of the same name. It will show you my entire watch collection, which is quite vast, I have to say, and it's always growing by the week sometimes. Next on this channel, I'm not too sure. I've got lots of reviews to do, but I want to sort of do a video on my digital watch collection. I've got lots of vintage digital watches. I had a period of time where I had a fascination for them. Plus I've got a really, really rare and cool one coming in the post right now. So if you would like to see the digital watch video, again, leave your comment down below. I'll make that happen if enough people are interested. So subscribe, please, and I will see you in the next video on this channel or my other channel very soon. Bye for now.